There are many different ways that the market could go, and for many different reasons. This is because the Fed is raising interest rates. They are raising interest rates to combat inflation, and some of the highest inflation that we've seen in decades. So I'm going to be talking about 3 different ways that the market could go and why, and how that would affect real estate prices. Let's get into it. Hey, before we start this video, if you like this video, if you find it informational, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer those, but let's jump right into it. The first scenario is that inflation still has not yet peaked. If this is the case, the Fed will likely not hesitate to do another 75 basis point hike and another 50 basis point hike after that. CPI comes out on the 13th of this month, and the Fed will meet likely at the end of this month to decide what to do. If the CPI comes in and shows inflation is still up, it still has not peaked, then I believe we are in trouble because the Fed really wants to get inflation under control. Their target inflationary rate is 2%. The last CPI report came out and showed that we still had not peaked, and inflation, it was up around 8.6%. If it's higher this time around, we are in trouble with another 75 basis point hike and 50 basis point hike after that. We are seeing support for these 2 big rate hikes by members of the Fed, and this could really affect real estate prices. As of right now, we're sitting at almost 16,000 active listings on the market here in Phoenix. This number has gone up from around 4,000 active listings at the beginning of the year. So you can imagine why it was such a seller's market. We had no supply on the market, and now we're seeing a lot of supply come to market and a lot of vacant supply. So investors are coming, they're wanting to get rid of their second or third home. They want to cash out while prices are good because they think the market is going to go bad. And if the Fed continues to hike rates in huge portions, like a 75 basis point hike this month and another 50 next month, then I think we will see a correction. And that correction, I believe, will be around 10 to 20%. Why I think that number is what we will see is because we are seeing an equilibrium start to happen when it comes to supply and demand within the real estate market. People are coming to market and people are just not buying because of how expensive it is to buy because of interest rates, this external force. Our supply is still very much down, but when you bring this external force such as interest rates, it causes homes to be quite a bit more expensive to buy. If we do see a correction such as 20% in the market, an example would be a $400,000 house will now become $320,000. Yet say you bought that $400,000 house at a 4% interest rate, your payment is going to be very similar to what it would be at $320,000 at a 6.5% interest rate, because interest rates will lag a little bit when the market starts to go down. This is because the Fed takes a while to lower interest rates in order for us to get out of the recession, because they don't want to encourage inflationary times again. That is the first scenario that I see happening, and I hate to say it, it very much could happen. Because the Fed is so concerned on inflation and getting that number down to 2%, I believe that they could raise rates that high, causing the market to reassess, come back down, have a correction of 10 to 20%, making houses more affordable. Yet with the interest rates being higher, there will be a buying opportunity, but if you buy a house, you'll have the ability to refi later down the road when interest rates drop again. The second scenario I see happening is the Fed changes their inflation number. They could change it possibly from 2%, which is the target now, to 4%. It could make the Fed's policy a little bit more lax when it comes to raising interest rates. We could see interest rates come in at the CPI this month on the 13th, and they could have peaked, and the Fed could be happy with that. They could stick with the current interest rate and see how it goes to see if the market starts to stabilize. If this happens and the Fed changes their target number from 2% to 4%, then I believe we could still see a small correction, maybe a 5% correction, because houses still will not be as affordable as they once were when the interest rates were so low, and because they're more expensive, less people will buy them, thus making the market stabilize at a new number, have more inventory on the market, and make it more of a buyer's market than it was a seller's market, because houses are just not affordable still to people that want them the millennial age, the next line up of all these millions of families. If they can't afford them, they're not going to buy houses. So they need to become affordable again, aka lowering interest rates to a stable level again. In this scenario, if this happens, the Fed may raise rates again slowly, getting that number to 4%. The market will still be relatively expensive for the families that are wanting to buy, and because of that, we will have more inventory, making it easier for buyers to buy just because it's more expensive. The third and final scenario that I see that might happen is the CPI comes in on the 13th, and it shows that we have actually dropped dramatically. This is because supply chain issues are finally getting freed up. People are starting to spend less money because interest rates have gone up so quickly, so fast, and we're seeing less demand for frivolous spending. This meaning prices are starting to go down. Look at the gas station that's near you. How much has it gone down in the last month? I have a gas station right on the corner by my house that went up to $5.99, and right now I think it's sitting at $5.15, and that was a relatively short time that it's come down. I'm wondering about the other numbers that make up the CPI to see, and I'm curious to see if those numbers are also going to be down. If this is the case, the Fed would stop raising rates because they see inflation has come down and it's come down dramatically. They will most likely keep the rates that they're at right now because they will see if that continues to happen. And if it does, and we reach that 2% inflationary mark, then they're going to be happy to lower rates again. The problem is, consumers are spending less money. They still have a bad feeling about the market. The consumer sentiment is still very low. And because of that, we could cause a consumer recession. If this happens, I believe prices will stagnate. They will not go down. But because consumers are no longer buying things, GDP will likely go down and the Fed will likely lower rates again because they don't want to see a recession happening, especially if they reach their inflation number. If in this scenario all that happens, then I see the Fed lowering rates again. And if they lower rates again, I see house prices going up once again. So after we reach a new normal with supply and demand, the Fed will likely lower rates, causing houses to be more affordable again. In that case, people will start to buy again, demand will start to go up again, and supply, because it's so low still, will cause the market to rebound and rebound quickly. If that happens, house prices will continue to go up in a much slower fashion, I believe, but they will become much more affordable than they are right now at sitting around a 6% interest rate. In any of these scenarios, the prices go down. I believe we will see a quick springboard effect of prices going up, a V-shaped recovery. Why do I think that? Well, I think that because there are a lot of people that still are in demand for houses. And as soon as they become more affordable, investors will jump back in. People, single-family homes will jump back in. Where our supply is just still way too low in order to find a new equilibrium if prices go down. Prices go down, people are going to take advantage of that, and then prices will go right back up. That will be a great buying opportunity for people, and I'm excited to see what happens during this time. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you when to invest. I think time in the market will always beat timing the market. And if you have any questions in regards to real estate, the market here in Arizona, I'm more than happy to help. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Riley with Team CR Realty, where Arizona real estate is seen.